Now, the White House has just expressed serious concerns about the conduct of the Russian elections, and they're not the only ones. Economist Grigory Yavlinsky is the founder and leader of Russia's Yabloko party, which the Central Election Commission says won 3.3% of the votes. Yavlinsky told me his party has evidence of voting irregularities.
We have the evidence that the results of the vote were changed, and a lot of votes which were given for the different parties were redistributed in order to support the party of power, United Russia. And we also have the evidence that the votes which were given to the Russian United Democratic Party, Yablока, were just redistributed in favor of the other parties which are supportive to the government.
And yet there does seem to be a response from the public to suggest that they're less happy with the rulers in Russia right now than they have been in the past. So do you think they have expressed a message at all through this election?
Yes, the overall view of the public in Russia is much less support to the party of power, United Russia, which is the party of Mr. Medvedev at the moment, and which is supporting Mr. Putin. But the support from the public and from the people in the country is much less than before.
Why is that, do you think? Is that a problem with leadership, or the fact that the economy, having had so many fantastic years of growth, is now starting to turn a little?
There are different reasons for that. One of them is that there is no rule of law in the country, and now the people more and more understand that it is not acceptable in the 21st century to live in the country like Russia without rule of law. Secondly, for the people, is not acceptable the situation when in such country like Russia you have no independent justice, and it's very difficult to take part in the economy or in whatever activities when you have no independent rule of law and justice. And the third is property rights. The property rights in Russia is still very questioned, especially the private property rights. All these things taken together, making people very nervous.
Do you plan to go through this process again? Do you plan to run for president as planned?
This is a very big question mark, because it is not clear whether it will be a possibility for the democratic opposition to take part in the presidential elections, because the legislation in Russia about the taking part in the presidential elections is extremely suppressive, and it makes a lot of obstacles for the independent candidates for presidency in Russia.